What happens on the second Friday of January? Give me a sec. The second Friday of January is called the Global Quitters Day. Why? Because most people cut ties with their goals on the second Friday of January, right? So it's like exactly 10 days into their goals, people give up. It's so bad that by mid-February, 80% of persons who had New Year's resolutions would have forgotten their New Year's resolution. And yeah, it's a statistic. It's on Google. But you don't even need a statistic to know that this is kind of true, because we've all gone around those circles. And so this video is aimed at teaching you how to increase your willpower. Willpower is the driving force of your goal. If you don't have willpower, if you're not strong in your mind and you cannot tie your actions and your thoughts to ensure that your goal is reached, then you're lacking willpower. And yeah, I'm going to debunk this, but most of us think that anger is a strategy. I used to think my anger was a strategy. It's like just get angry about all the years that has led to this moment, and then you'll be able to face the giants. But that's not how it works, like no matter how angry you are, you'll never win a fight against a trained fighter. Like no matter how angry you are, right? Life is a trained fighter. Life has a way of beating you down, every single time you try to rise. It's just the way that things are. Think about it like there are seasons: winter, summer, Harmattan in Nigeria. There is to hit your goal within all of these seasons of life in a year, just a single year, you have to be the same person. Imagine some days you're going to sleep hot and then you wake up on the cold side of the bed and you don't want to get up, right? That's because there are seasons in life, things change, but if you have to hit your goal, you have to remain consistent. That consistency is a product of willpower. And because it's hard to maintain that level of consistency, willpower is in short supply. And that's why so many persons quit 10 days into their goals. If you've not trained your willpower, be rest assured you're going to give up way before you win, right? So if your willpower is not trained, we have to learn to hack our willpower. So let's call this hacking 101. How do you hack your willpower? I'm going to show you 2 ways to hack your willpower so that you can stay consistent in the year 2025. But I have to clean this board. So the first way to hack your willpower is something I call design, right? So willpower, give me a sec. All right, so hacking your willpower 101 is called design. There's a reason why it's harder to exit TikTok or Instagram. And it's because the design of the platforms are made so that they bypass your willpower, like they beat your willpower down, right? So if you notice, when you get on TikTok, they show you the first video you see is the most viral video. And because so many persons are interested in it, it's almost guaranteed that you will be interested in it. Especially if your friends are interested in it, it's almost guaranteed that you will be interested in it. And so they're using design to hack your willpower, right? They're using the design to bypass your willpower, right? So some of you at that point, you're just hooked. And that's why you can stay there for as long as most of us stay, So we naturally respond to design. You need a way to design your environment to make it easy for the things that you want to get done. If you want to become a writer, if you want to journal in the coming year, then you have to be intentional enough to design your environment to make writing possible, so that you're not burning conscious resources to make things happen. Because that's the problem. When we burn too much conscious resources, like if you're a writer and your book is always like 10 meters away from you or 20 meters away from you, you can do it the first 2 days or 3 days. But before long, it starts to become like, oh man, that's too far. So it's like your brain will tell you, let's do the next easy thing. Next easy thing is my phone. Right? So if my phone is always by my bedside, that will be the next easy thing to do. But if you replace that and you keep your book, your journal by your bedside when you wake up, then it's easier. You don't have to burn conscious resource. Again, circling back for some of you who are asking me about how to speak in circles. So you don't have to burn conscious resource to get your book, to get your writing done. Same thing goes for people who are trying to write with a notepad. If you have a phone, by the way, this is my phone. I'm going to tell you about my phone very soon. So if you have a phone, rather than keep your notepad on your menu, how about you keep it on your home screen? How about you bring it to your home screen so that you don't have to be looking for your notepad, on the menu, right? It's easier to just, press the first button and you see your notepad, and then writing is easier. Writing is possible because it's easier, right? So design can make things possible. I was going to tell you about my phone. So this is my phone. It's a Nokia phone. September 2023, I decided to quit my smartphone. Why? Because my willpower could not beat the design of a smartphone. I was constantly distracted, always on the apps. And you can say, oh yeah, I'm going to delete the app and stuff like that. But dude, like the dopamine hits just feels different, man. So what did I do? I needed a counter design to get things done. I create content, so I'll need a camera. I got a camera, all right? I'll need editing apps. So rather than edit with my phone, yeah, I have a laptop. So that's my laptop. And I have a Spectranet. That's my data provider, by the way. And this has been my design for the past 1 year and 3 months. By the way, it doesn't mean that I don't get distracted anymore, right? But it just means that I've created a friction. I've made it harder to do the things I don't want to do, and easier to do the things that I want to do, right? So this friction. If I stay here and I scroll, if I have to go outside, I'm not going with my laptop, right? Because I can't take this outside and just go sit. If it's a restaurant, but I can't be walking on the road and typing on my laptop. Something in me would tell me I'm stupid or something is wrong with me. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm not asking you to quit your phone. I'm just saying, in your case, you have to find something that works for you, right? You have to be intentional about designing your environment to accommodate your goals, right? So that's one. Create a design, be intentional about your design. And then number two, this one's going to be very, very controversial. So let's use a red marker. All right, number two is called accountability. It's a prevailing narrative that when you tell people your goal, you lose the motivation to achieve your goal, to chase your goal. And then some persons have even grounded it in psychology to say, oh yeah, there's a dopamine hit that we get when we speak about our goals, right? That we feel some level of happiness or some level of excitement, when people say, oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh, you say you want to build an app this year, that's a great one. Like we feel an excitement that gives us the feeling, the emotion before we have done the work. And so doing the work is more like, like I've already gotten what I needed, like all the accolades and everything. So it's like, what's the point? So what I'm saying is people have grounded the idea of telling people about your goal in psychology, and it kind of makes sense. But I'll ask you one question. This year, the year that just passed, 2024, did you or did you not tell people about your goal? That's my only question. Like, did you tell people about your goal? I like to presume you didn't tell people about your goals. But now the next question will be, so because you did not tell people about your goal, right? That you didn't tell people about your goal, did it now help you to achieve it? Do you get like it's, if you think about it, like that is not a reasonable argument for why people should not have accountability partners. You see, the problem is not that we tell people our goals. The problem is that we tell the wrong people our goals. So you tell your friends, people that that you play so much with, like you don't really, you have respect for your goals, for your friends, but it's like, like I could just tell you a lie. I could tell you something and not keep up with it. It's like, that's the wrong person to tell about your goals, right? So who is the right person to tell about your goal? People that you deeply respect, right? People whose opinion you hold so high that you wouldn't like to let down, right? You wouldn't like to let them down for any reason. Those are the people to hold you accountable. And before I continue with this, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why it's easier to achieve your corporate goals, your office goals, more than it is to achieve your personal goals? Like, have you ever thought about that? That when you get to the office, you work better in your boss's work, than when you come back to your personal goals. Like, why is it so? Have you ever thought about that? I would tell you that the reason it's easier to work on your boss's goals, your corporate goals, your office goals, is because accountability is built into the office environment. Nobody really thinks about it, but that's it. It's like your job is dependent on another person's job. Another person's job is dependent on your job. And that cycle creates accountability. They keep asking you, are you done with the file yet? Or have you done the posting yet? Or when are you going to be done with it? And when you default, there is a consequence. Sometimes it gets so bad that if you default on major issues, they can relieve you of your job, right? So the stakes are really high in such environments. And that's what creates accountability. That's what creates that urge to actually achieve the goal. But the problem is when we come back to our personal goals, we have so much freedom. And because we have freedom, we lack accountability. And because we lack accountability, it's easy to let off on your goals because you're not going to beat yourself up, right? And that also means that you can go 10 years and not achieve your goals. And because you're not going to beat yourself up, everything is fine. That's why we don't achieve our goals. And that's also why you need an external accountability partner, right? So again, get a mentor, get somebody that you deeply respect, emphasis on deeply, all right? And then stay accountable to them, right? Tell them, actually set smart goals and tell them, oh yeah, boss, please, by the end of this month or by the end of March, Q1, I want to do X, Y, and Z. Please, I just want you to hold me accountable. That is going to increase the consciousness of your goal in your head. And that's going to increase your respect of your goal in your head. Oh yeah, like you have to respect yourself. If you're not keeping to your word, that means you're not respecting yourself. No, that's not what it means. It just means that your willpower is low, right? And that you're trying to work it on background while hacking it on the front end. You're hacking your willpower by creating a design and also by incorporating accountability into your strategy, right? So pretty much that's it. To hack your willpower and get your goals going in 2025, you need a strong design in your environment to make sure that things happen seamlessly, and stay accountable, right? 2025.